What's up, you guys? John the voiceover guy here from PumaPlow.com. So the other day we took our Fairbanks Morris Model Z engine to the farm. Now, this is the engine that has long been anticipated to come to the farm. This is our dad's, and I didn't actually know that he had this until not too long ago. This is obviously a stationary engine that would run a flat belt to run like a water pump or a washing machine or something of that sort back in the day. We believe that it's from around 1938. The Fairbanks Morris engines from, I think this is all going from what my dad said, from before that they were hit and miss engines. This is not a hit and miss, this is a continuous running engine. So it's like a modern engine where it runs all the time instead of hit and miss like the old hit and miss engines, obviously. So this is, as it came to the farm, we went and got it from the place where my dad works. It's been sitting up in their loft for years and years and years. Semi-climate controlled because it's in a shop. And so the engine's in really good shape, but we didn't have a crank. So we had to make a crank. So it's a bolt with a roll pin stuck in the side. And the first thing we did was see if we have spark, because it's been sitting for roughly 25 years untouched. And to our amazement, we put a new spark plug wire on it, and there was spark. So what we're doing is we're using an electric half-inch drill to spin that bolt to spin the engine until we get some kind of actual crank made up, which we're going to make. So here's the first time this sucker, Dad, spark plug wire is all hooked up. We do need a new spark plug. It's broken in a few pieces, but we made it work to get this thing to run, and there it is. It is actually running. Right now we don't have any fuel in the fuel tank, so that's why Dad's using carb cleaner to make it run. We just wanted to see if it would actually hit and run, and to our amazement it did. So we were really surprised by this. Like I said, it's been sitting about 25 years or so. Not really sure how long it's been sitting. So like I said, we were just really shocked that this thing would that it even had compression. And I guess that's a testament to, the way stuff used to be made. But like I said, it's been sitting about 25 years. My dad bought a machine company years ago in our town, and then he turned it into a hardware store, and then turned it into a lawn and garden shop. And this engine was just sitting in the basement of his shop when he bought it, and not really sure where it came from or what it did. But some of the research we've done online, these engines, like I said earlier, would have been used to run washing machines or small water pumps. It is only 2 horsepower, and this one has the flywheel on screen right now, where you would run a flat belt, or on the camshaft, which is sticking out screen left there, you could also run a flat belt on that. They run opposite directions, so depending on what you needed, you could run a belt either way. Now that muffler that is on there, obviously that's not stock. It's been put on there I don't know how many years ago. And here in a little bit, when we get it running pretty consistently, which I think is this clip here, it actually starts smoking because the thing has never gotten hot before, that muffler. So first time they get hot or so, they tend to smoke and burn off some of the stuff. So that's what this one is doing. So I'm just gonna kind of step away for a little bit and listen. You guys can listen to this engine kind of run, and I know the audio is not great because it was pretty loud. It's not as loud as I thought it was gonna be, but it's still pretty loud. So you guys can watch this for a little bit, and I'll come back when I have more to add. Alright, so now we're up on top of the engine. You can see we've poured antifreeze in there, actually 50-50 mix. And so this engine is technically water cooled, but you just pour the water inside of the engine, and then later on, when you're done with it for the winter, you know, during the summer you would just use water, and then of course over the winter you would use antifreeze or some kind of coolant that won't freeze, which, you know, antifreeze out of a, like, for a car engine, same thing. So what we're trying to do here is set the, or just see, not really set, but kind of see what this engine's running at. That's actually a tachometer. Now, I'm not really sure of the magic of this, but it's something about the maximum movement of the little yellow tip on the thing. I'm gonna have to do a video here in the future and have Dad kind of explain it with like no engine running, so that we can like hear it and everything and whatnot. So look forward to that in the future. And actually, I was kind of surprised, not surprised, you guys are awesome, with the comments from last video about, yes, do more shop stuff. So done deal. As you can see, this is a shop video. So done deal on the shop videos. We will continue to do stuff as we have stuff to film. And then also there were a couple questions. Where do we live and what is grown around us? We live just outside of St. Louis, Missouri, and most of the crop around here is going to be corn and soybeans, and there's a little bit of wheat grown. Not a whole lot. That's pretty much all that's grown around here is corn and soybeans. So they grow a lot of it, and you know, stay tuned for next year, and we'll kind of take the journey with the fields around us, and we'll show you guys every week what they're doing, and we'll have the drone up by then. So that should be pretty cool to go out and film the fields with the drone and whatnot. So for some reason, Dad got the brilliant idea of taking the muffler off. Not sure why, but you know. And then the other question Sean Sinclair asked, I saw it. He was wondering why the rye does not die in the winter from freezing. It's kind of like grass. It's in the same family as grass. It just goes dormant. And as soon as it starts to warm up in the spring, it'll just come right out and start growing. So yeah, and I thought this was cool with the lights off and the fire, but you know. So we turned it off for a little bit and kind of let it sit, and wanted to kind of mess with restarting. So you could hear it there. It was kind of like a hit and miss engine, and then it kind of, you know, took off and boom, you know. So it's really, really cool. We were pleasantly surprised with how this engine is running, and you guys will get to see this engine a lot more hopefully here soon. We actually have a project in mind where we're going to be using this engine to power something, so I can't wait to do that. That should be pretty cool. And then also during that same day at the farm, we got to shoot a 50 caliber Desert Eagle gold-plated pistol. That's the bullet. 50 caliber, like I said, it's massive, and it is a hollow point. Now, this thing was loud. We were wearing double hearing protection, and it was still pretty loud. And it just makes stuff like disappear. So here's 4 shots with it, back to back. For anybody who had only shot, like never shot the gun, they were only putting 1 round in there at a time, just in case we would drop it or something. And so it was a lot of fun, thanks to the person who brought it to the farm. I'm not going to name them, but there's the rounds after we shot. If you guys like this video, please hit the like button for more and subscribe. I'll catch you next time. Toodles.